Hello everyone, this is Russell with Clever Tech Solutions, and recently one of the things I did when I had some downtime is I created a .NET wrapper around the Zillow API. I work with the Zillow API a lot for a lot of different customers to have a lot of different, I guess, real estate types of applications. So I want to make a quick video and share it with you in case you want to come here and play around with it, or you have any use to a project and need something like this. So if I go to the Zillow, let's go to their main site, and I'll show you that you get your home valuation APIs here, property details, neighborhood data, and so I've created a class library to wrap around all those APIs. And then, of course, I left out the mortgage rates and mortgage calculators. I'm not sure if I'll have a need for that, but in the future I might add that in. Basically, go over here and look at the code, and you can see over here in the right hand pane where just a class for each one of those APIs, um, and then I manually added in those message resolutions. These are not part of the actual Zillow API. They're on the website, but they're not. I don't believe they're in the API itself, so I manually added them in. That would give me an error, or tell me what went wrong if I got an error. And it's a pretty straightforward. I'm using link to XML. There's a lot that I would like to do to this later on before actually making this available to the public. Probably take advantage of a lot of generics to cut down on the amount of code I got here, but it's pretty simple. If you got a property, you pass in a Zillow property ID, address, rent estimate, links. These are actually things we would get back from the Zillow API. I'm just using link to XML to sort of parse that. But like I said, there's for private use, this works. All of this is working. It works for me. But if I were to sort of just put it on GitHub or something, there would be a lot more I'd want to do with this. In fact, there's some stuff out there available right now that you could use. So online, however, I just have just a regular search API working. What do they call it? Just to get search results. So if we go in here and look in, let's go to this property in Washington. Go ahead and search that. You see, first of all we got this info window here that tells us we had a message code of 0. Request was successfully processed. If there was an error, this would tell me the error code and would tell me a message and the resolution for it. If I were approaching my limit of API calls that day, I would get a little limit warning here. This is Bootstrap, so we can turn it off and on. Our first tab here is just a presentation, what I call the presentation tab, and all of this is just information coming back from the API, such as the address. This is estimate data. This home is estimated at $1,423,000 roughly, and then it's changed $1,500 in the last 30 days. Little chart here is just the ASP.NET charts. I don't use these a lot in my ASP.NET projects, but I thought I would try to mess around with it in this, and very basic at the moment. I need to play around with that a lot more to make that a little bit more visually appealing, or you can just get the regular charts from the Zillow API. Here are the links to that are available as well when we make this call. If we go to this map is just using the regular Google Maps JavaScript. I forget what it's called, the API, the version 3. And then, the street map is using a different Google Maps API, but it gives you a snapshot of whenever the Google car went by, and you kind of get a bird's eye view of the property itself, or what it would look like if you were driving by. And then I put the rent estimate information over here if it's available. And that's about it. And just a little bit of font awesome to tell if it went down or went up, the change in price or the change in the valuation. My idea was to document all this, and maybe I will in the future. I don't know how far along I'll get. It's kind of a work in progress, but this is the code I'm passing in. This is really all you need to work with the API. which is just a static method to it passes in the API key, the address, zip code for this one for just the regular search, and then it returns back all that information, and then it's just a matter of just displaying it in your web page. So this is the response, and most of this you saw how I had it presented in the first two tabs, and then over here I'm just documenting the naming convention that I was using, um, and what we get back, the different objects and the properties that we get back. So I'll put a link in the description down below if you want to come over here and mess with it. There's probably going to be a couple of bugs. I've fixed some of them today. I've been just testing with a lot of like properties out in the country, I believe. Let's see, where was one I was messing with? This one here was like in Reedsville. You'll notice that not all your maps are going to be available, especially Street View. This is up in the country in North Carolina, out where my mother's from. You do get a Google map. If I zoom out here, you'll see a lot of farmland in this region, not very populated. Get the same details we would expect, but if you come over to the street map, there is no, obviously the Google card, and I don't think they went that far, so nothing to see there. Probably would want to put a static, some other image there rather than having that display. But I think a realtor.com is using same as you would see at realtor.com if you were to search properties over there. And there you have it. So hopefully in the future, if you look at this later on after I've posted this video, it might be that I've added more to deep search, where we get more results, how many bed and bathrooms are in these houses, and comparisons, and just fun working with an API and possibly integrating it in with other APIs. But just come and play around with it if you want to. If you want to contact me, you can do so. I guess in the links in the video. I would suggest probably emailing me or contact me through Facebook or LinkedIn, or if you want to hire me or you've got a potential project, the best thing to do is click on my Upwork profile, where you can come over here and you can contact me this way and just read up on my portfolio and different customer feedback, that kind of stuff. And yeah, so see what you think, and thanks for watching.